The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
And welcome into the EP Podcast. My name is Chris Lanuti, and this is your weekend update. A quick look at what is going on around town this weekend. And it's all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, who want to remind you that it is never too early to start teaching your kids about money. Help them take the first step toward a healthy financial future with a junior savers account from the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. With a junior savers account, kids earn interest on every dollar they deposit, so they can watch their money grow. Show your children how rewarding saving can be. Set them up for success. Learn more by visiting bankevergreenpark.com/juniorsavers/EP. No minimum required to open. Member FDIC. And remember, over at the iconic building at 95th and Pulaski, we've got all kinds of free swag over there from every podcast on the Broadcast Basement On-Demand Radio Network. Check out our table at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park and put an EP Podcast card magnet on the back of your vehicle. So much to talk about this weekend. A big event for kids of all ages happening on Saturday. But Friday brings about the return of high school football. And Coach Jerry Verde, the head coach of your Evergreen Park Mustangs, is on the line with us as another season is kicking off. It has been a quick turnaround, Coach. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready, but like you said, it's definitely a quick turnaround. It was interesting in the summer. We did more conditioning in June because our last game we got done was April 23rd, and we were out there again with conditioning right around June 10th. So the shortest off season ever, but that's also okay.
So let's talk about the team as a whole before we talk about your first matchup this weekend on Friday night. Last year, I say last year, it seems silly, a couple of months ago when you had the class that you finished up with, you talked about the fact that you had a lot of guys that be returning this year. And even though the season probably didn't go the way that you wanted to, and you were taking every game one game at a time, you now have a full season that is in front of you, and you have this group 1 year older and ready to go. And you would think there'd be just another step they might take here. What's your outlook for this season realistically?
Well, we're a senior-oriented team. We've got 20 seniors, and most of them have some kind of playing experience from going back to their sophomore year on varsity. A lot of these young men are going to end up being 3-year starters. So when it comes to high school football, when it comes to anything, I mean, experience is extremely valuable. Particularly, that experience kind of under fire, intense situations, having somebody who's gone through it before, the outcome should improve, over time. And, we've gotten stronger. We've grown a little bit and matured a little bit. So, we have high expectations, but at the same time, almost to be a broken record, you do have to take it one game at a time because, we have to be prepared for, Mantino this Friday, So, big picture wise, we're very happy with the team that we have. But we haven't done anything this year. And, proving time comes Friday.
So let's talk about Mantino. Tell us about this team. It's a non-conference team. So whenever you're dealing with a non-conference team, nobody really knows. I mean, you might know a little bit if you really follow high school football. But tell us a little bit about this team that you're facing and, what you think you're going to be able to do against them in the opening game.
Well, you hit it on the head. We don't know a ton about them, and you never know a ton about your first opponent, even if it's a yearly game you schedule for a first opponent. You're never going to know if they haven't changed what they're doing offensively or defensively. We did exchange film with this team, so we kind of know what we think we know what they're going to run. But historically speaking, Mantino's been a very good program. They're a school of about 700 right about. So they're not, we're not that much bigger than them. We have 870 right now, I believe, is our number. So It's a decent matchup. We know that they're going to be tough. They usually have pretty good linemen. They tend to be a little bit more run oriented. So we think we know at least something about them, to be prepared for Friday. And they probably know just as much about us, to be real honest with you. They think they know what we're going to run, and they think they know who we have, and you just try to put a wrinkle in there to keep everybody honest.
It's a 7 p.m. start time this Friday. It's a home game, correct?
Correct.
Is everything pretty normal in terms of people being able to go out there, buy tickets if somebody wants to go out and watch the game?
Yes, absolutely. We'd love to see a big crowd out there, and there haven't really been any restrictions that have come forth as far as things that are going on outside and outdoors. Well, there's plenty of room to get a little distance if that's if you need that to be comfortable, and we'd love to see people out.
That's awesome. Well, I hope you get a good crowd out there. Before I let you go, give me a couple of guys, couple of members on your team that somebody who's following this team or might get into it again after maybe taking a year off, somebody locally saying, I'm going to go up and watch a football game. Who should they be watching? Who are you expecting big things from?
Well, I can just stick with some of the seniors, starting with our MVP from the spring with Michael Torres. He plays linebacker. He plays wide receiver. He plays a little bit of running back. James Williams also plays linebacker. He's a senior, also plays running back. You've got Elijah Matthews. He plays DB and wide receiver. They're going to see time both ways. You also have Aiden McDermott and Nathan Johnson. Both of those guys are seniors. They're getting some time on the offensive line, getting some time on the defensive line. Devin Turner, going to get some time at quarterback. We may see him play a little bit of free safety. Those are the guys you can watch. They're a great core, and there's other seniors besides them. I hate leaving young men out that deserve attention, but that's kind of the core of the team, and that's what we're looking at. Leading the way, and it's been all those guys that I mentioned have all gotten time as sophomores. Obviously, they played the shortened spring season, and we were very lucky to be one of the teams that got to play all 6 of their games, and now we hope they lead the way their senior year.
It's going to be a fun time on Friday night. If you get an opportunity, head up to Evergreen Park High School. Check out the game. Once again, 7 p.m., kicking off the season. Once evening hits, we're talking 75 degrees and clear skies. So hopefully for that 7 p.m. start, you've got great weather. Yeah, it sounds like you've got a great attitude. You guys are ready for a season. We're rooting for you here. Good luck this weekend.
Hey, thanks a bunch, Chris.
Let's take a look at your weekend weather. The day this episode comes out, Friday the 27th, a high of 90 and basically no chance of rain. Same thing for Saturday, although the high is up 2 degrees to 92. And on Sunday, back to 90, you will get evening thunderstorms. A hot, sunny weekend. Get out and enjoy it. Pretty soon, snow will be falling, and you'll be like, where's the heat? This is the heat right here. It's right here. Enjoy it. There are still openings in the Tuesday to Thursday classes for 3-year-old preschool over at the Evergreen Park Community Center. Classes take place from 9 a.m. until 11:30. Give the rec department a call now to get in on this over at the Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. The phone number is 708-229-3373, or just stop in. Do not forget that your village sticker deadline is approaching. That is coming up on September the 15th. You can go online right now and get your sticker and pay with a credit card so you don't have to stand in line. It's 2021. Use the interwebs, get your sticker, move forward with your life. There's a huge event going on over on Western this Saturday, and in 60 seconds, our guest will tell you all about it right here on the EP Podcast, found everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com. Imagine one day, out of nowhere, you need your car towed. Who are you going to call? You have no idea. Right, because none of us think about that until it actually happens. So I'm going to give you a name, Dreamers Towing and Recovery. Located in Evergreen Park, Illinois, they will tow your vehicle, locally or at a long distance, at a very affordable price. What happens when your car needs a jump start? Dreamers Towing and Recovery. What happens when you're locked out of your car? Dreamers Towing and Recovery. You got a junk car, you don't know how to get rid of it, and you just want to move along and get some cash? They buy your junk cars. Covering the EP and the surrounding south side of Chicago, Dreamers is there when you need them with 24-hour service. Call them 773-410-4549. 773-410-4549. Turn a sudden nightmare into a dream with Dreamers Towing and Recovery. Joining me on the phone line right now, Sara Klein's on from AAA in Evergreen Park. They're located over at 91st and Western, and Sara wants you all to go touch a truck this weekend. Hi, Sara. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm hanging in there trying to figure out what touch a truck is. Like, you just line up some trucks, people come over, they try to figure out the different feel of each truck. I'm confused.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to have, we're very thankful to have the Evergreen Park Police Department, the Evergreen Park Fire Department, and the Village of Evergreen Park to assist with this event. They're going to be providing their department vehicles for children to learn about, touch, and try out themselves. We'll also have our AAA tow truck there, of course, but it's really, what we're about is promoting traffic safety within the community to keep our children safe as well as our residents. So, traffic safety is a very important part of AAA's commitment to safety. So we thought, what better to have the kids come experience, try the trucks out. We're going to have, the lieutenants out here. We're going to have everyone to assist and let them play with those vehicles. So that's where the touch a truck comes from.
So let me get this straight. Little kids, man, they never had this stuff when I was a kid. You had to know somebody. Little kids can come over to AAA at 91st and Western. What is this, on Saturday? And they get to sit in the truck, hang out on the truck. It sounds to me like they would get to play with the sirens. Am I jumping to conclusions?
No, anything is possible. We are letting them try out everything as well as educating them on the importance of those vehicles and what they do in the community. As well as they're not just touching it. We are going to have a lot of fun for them. The first 150 kids that come, we're going to provide them our yellow safety vests, so they'll be able to wear those while they're on the truck. As well as we're going to be passing out our schools open, drive safely signs and our red slowdown signs that you've probably seen somewhere around Evergreen Park. But the fun doesn't end there. We'll have giveaways, raffle prizes, and I heard it's going to be really hot on Saturday. So what's a summer day without some Culver's custard to pass out? And thanks to them, they are actually donating the custard to the event for the kids to have. So there's going to be tons of fun to be had.
I find it so interesting that this is not only something where the kids can learn about the emergency vehicles and even the tow trucks and stuff like that, but it sounds like you're also trying to educate people on driving safely. That's been a hot button thing all summer long here in Evergreen Park. You go on a Facebook site for the neighborhoods, and people are complaining about the way people are driving, not stopping at stop signs. They're worried about their kids now that they're going back to school. How much of a focus is that for AAA?
Oh, that's humongous. I will say, Chris, myself, I live in this community. My daughter attends the school, and I do know, I'm very aware, I'm very active on those sites as well. We've had a few incidents of children being struck by the speeding vehicles, and I've almost seen it myself a few times. So it is a very, very hot topic, especially coming from the community, worrying about my kids walking across the street, speeding vehicles. Our police department has been great about catching it, but there's so many that, after that last child was struck, and luckily they're okay, we're working to prevent these incidents from happening. And as well as I'm very grateful for the support of Mayor Burke. She's actually going to be attending this event first thing in the morning and speaking of this really, really important topic of safety in our community.
So what time is everything on Saturday? When can people start getting there? It sounds like you got vests for the first 150, so you're expecting a big event, right?
Yes, Chris, we are. Actually, our event is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I've seen a lot of people that are interested or attending this event on Facebook. I think we have over 180, and that's usually just the people that actually respond. We had one more of these events to promote traffic safety, and we had over 300 children. So again, this is open to Evergreen Park community, the families, residents, as well as the surrounding areas. Again, 10 to 2, we'll have everything started. Everyone will be able to ride on all of the vehicles and play with them for that extended time.
Touch a Truck this Saturday, 91st and Western over at AAA. Sara Klein, thanks so much for jumping on the EP podcast.
No problem, Chris. I look forward to it. And if you're free, stop on by. We'll have some custard for you and a safety vest.
Ooh, custard and sirens?
Yes.
Seems like something you should not miss. Remember, on Monday morning, your full 30 minutes of good that is the EP podcast is out on demand everywhere. We've got a couple of great guests lined up for that show, but one of them will be helping me prepare. We're almost there, the annual event that I know all of you can't wait to hear about when I break out my nearly award-winning ribs for the Most Holy Redeemer Barbecue Bash. It's back. It's September 11th. You can go online right now, get tickets for $20 a piece. It's $25 at the door. But I have a secret weapon that I am unveiling. We're taking the crown this year. We'll see you Monday right here on the EP podcast.
Another show is wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nude is basement. And the nude is basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. Nude is basement. Broadcast basement. The nudist basement. The broad basement. Slancha.
The EP podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found. And always at the eppodcast.com.